Good morning everyone. My name is Holger Andrey and today I'm presenting my research findings at the International Conference on Language, Technology and Global Communication. The title of my presentation is Responsible Use of Artificial Intelligence in English Language Learning. This topic is important because artificial intelligence is already changing now how students learn, how teachers teach, and how people communicate in academic and professional contexts. Although AI tools can support English learning, they must be used carefully, ethically, and with intercultural awareness. So the main objective of this research-based presentation is to analyze how artificial intelligence can support English because language learning and what risks should be considered. So this presentation is based on reliable academic and institutional source, especially in British Council report about artificial intelligence and language teaching at UNESCO, guidance on generative AI and education in research. So the research questions are first, how is AI being used in English language learning? Second, what benefits can AI offer to students and teachers? Third, what challenges must be addressed to use AI responsibility? Now I will include my first reading element. This is a short summary from the British Council report. So the British Council report explains that artificial intelligence is being used in English language teaching and learning in different ways. So including language practices, lesson preparation, feedback, and the development of speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills. The main idea of this reading is that AI is not only a technological tool, it is also becoming part of language education. However, the report also suggests that teachers and students need guidance, training, and critical thinking to use this tool effectively. So, welcome to your international conference session on language learning and educational technology. Today's presenter will discuss how artificial intelligence can support English language learning while also consider ethical, cultural, and academic challenges. So, thank you from this introduction. We can identify the general topic of the conference, the relationship between AI, English learning, and responsible communication listening. For this helps you understand the general purpose of the messages, while listening for detail help us identify key concepts such as ethics, culture, and academic challenge. So the first finding finding is that AI can support English practice. For example, chatbots, pronunciation tools, grammar checkers, and language learning applications can provide immediate feedback. This can help students practice more frequently and become more autonomous. The second finding is that AI should not replace teacher. Instead, it should support teachers and learners. The teachers must still guide students correct misunderstandings and create human interaction in the classroom. In other words, AI can be helpful, but it should be used as a support tool, not as the main authority. So the third finding is related to intercultural communication. AI tools may include cultural bias, so students need to evaluate the information critically. A sentence may be grammatically correct, but it may not always be culturally appropriate. Therefore, English learners must consider tone, register audience, and context. Although I can make learning faster, it may also create problems if students depend on it too much. For that reason, academic integrity must be protected and clear rules should be established. So now I will present my second reading element based on UNESCO guidance. So UNESCO emphasized that generative AI in education should be followed and a human-centered approach. So it means that technology should empower teachers, learners, and researchers while protecting privacy, equity, and inclusion and human decision making. So the idea of this text is that AI should serve to people, not replace them. The supporting detail is that that educational institution need policies, ethical guidelines, and training so that AI can be used safely and fairly. So thank you for your presentation. My question is, how can universities use AI to improve English learning without reducing human interaction or increasing academic dishonesty? That is an excellent question. Universities can use AI responsibly by combining technology with human guidance. For example, AI generate feedback can be used for first draft, but final assignments should include personal reflection, oral pronunciation, and teacher evaluation. Also, students should be taught how to cite source, how to avoid plagiarism, and how to use AI as a learning assistant. If AI is used without clear rules, academic honesty may be affected. However, if it is used with training and supervision, it can improve learning. So a student says, because this is an international conference, I adapted to my communication for a multicultural audience. I used a formal but clear tone, avoided local expressions, and explained technical terms of such as AI, academic integrity, and human-centered approach. In multicultural communication, code switching may sometimes help learners understand complex ideas. However, in an international academic context, English should remain the main language so that all participants can follow the presentation. My message was organized with contrast connectors, such although, however, and therefore. I also used passive voice. For example, clear rules should be established. And modal verbs such as must, should, and can to express obligation, advice, and possibility. Some practice needs improving, especially teacher training, digital literacy, and ethnical policies. By the next few years, sorry, universities will have developed a stronger guidelines for AI used in language education. So to conclude this task helped me understand that global communication requires more than speaking English. So it also requires adapting the message to the audience, respecting cultural difference, and using reliable information. I adapted my communication by choosing clear examples, avoiding informal language, and explaining the topic in a way that could be understood by people from different and academic and cultural backgrounds. So advanced grammars and vocabulary supported me. The message, my message, because they helped me express contrast, obligation, possibility, and academic recommendations. For example, passive voice helped me sound more formal, while modal verbs helped me explain what university, that universities should do. Finally, intercultural awareness influenced my choices because AI tools are not neutral in every context. They must be used critically, ethically, and respectfully. My main conclusion is that artificial intelligence can support English learning, but it must be guided by human judgment, academic honesty, and intercultural responsibility. Thank you very much for your attention.